Good morning, everybody. Frank from A.G.E Outdoors coming back at you with another video. Yeah, it's been probably a week-ish, maybe two, since I dropped too much information. I did do a flip book that I've been told by several people that the music kind of sucked, but I just wanted to get something out to you. So today we're going to do a walk around on the 98 TJ / LJ build and kind of show you where we're at, show you what we got, and let you know what's happening. So here we go. So here the girl is. She is sitting on BDS 4.5-inch coils, full custom, my design long arm with 42-inch upper and lower links, single triangulated rear, 3-link front, 12-inch travel BDS 5125s. I have the open roads winch. As you can tell, she's kind of missing the cable yet. Haven't got around to putting it in. My bumper, steering setup and track bar setup that I did as well. These are Mamba 15x8, 3 3/4 backspace with wrapped in some Falcon MT 35 1250 15s. I believe these are Smitty built rock sliders. They were on the old girl when I got her. I did go back to factory fender flares for now. It was not in my budget for the Genrite aluminum that I want to do, so that will kind of follow suit when we get to the point of putting the 1-tons underneath her. It is on a 1-inch body lift, moto built tire carrier. I can't say enough good things about that thing because it just is stout. I could have designed and built something, but not for the quality and the time it took just to bolt that old girl on. I'm running a master top. Whoop. Here we go. Master top. They believe it's the Twill bolus. I don't know, kind of like it. Hate the half doors I got. They're Best Top's cheap 2-piece soft doors. So I did do some cage work in it. It had the bolt-in cage system before, so we reused these guys because it does lock in nice. No, I am not through the floor yet and locked in the frame. That will come at a later date, but I'm not worried about a hard multiple tumble. It's more of if I do something stupid, it's going to be a plunk kind of kick over. This is the max speed sway bar system. Read some really good reviews on it for its price, and to be perfectly honest, for how I use it, I am digging it. And let's pop the old hood, show you what's under her. Whoop. One-handed hood pop is not my thing. And there is the new heart of the project, the old 5.2 out of the ZJ. This is a 3-core, not sure which brand, but it's a 3-core aluminum radiator for the 4.0 that I had my buddy move the bottom outlet. And everything else is pretty much in the stock location. Yes, the wiring is still a little bit out there. So, rundown on it. I did the wiring harness in approximately 3 days. From the time I started cutting and splicing till this thing fired up, it was about 3 days. I know right now, the exhaust being a little bit short and not having an O2 sensor in, that every once in a while it'll throw me a code, sometimes it won't. IAC I just replaced, so she still has a little bit of a funky stumble on the idle. To date, the only thing not working is my turn signals and my speedo, and I think I've traced those down to being a bad or broken wire in the dash, which I will be going at later today. She's also a little bit of a stumble off idle, and going back through the fact that the old donor over there. That this motor came out of. Sat for 4+ years before I pulled the motor, only being ran every once a year. And then I had it for about a year, and I pulled it and put it in here, did oil change and basics. I'm doing a filter and a fluid swap on the transmission today. So let's see if she'll fire up and idle right away. I just backed it out of the garage, so I didn't even get some time to get her warm. So let's see what we got. Yep. And she's gonna be a little bit of a tricky one. Like, pop in here and see if we can get her to come down to an idle. There we go. And yeah, I'm low on fuel. I found out I had a bad fuel pump. Just recently changed that out. And it goes in spurts of reading and not reading. I also have a check engine light, but again, that check engine light is my O2. And yes, I can scan it. So I know. She's got a nice little rumble to her. Motor sounds good. Motor feels strong. Let's see if I can get a little sound of it. I don't know if I got the quite, but she is alive. She is not currently plated on the road yet. I did take it to the Jeep Blessing and play with it a little bit, which is where I discovered that the fuel pump that was in it was giving me fits. Apparently I'd been running around, even when I had my 4-liter in it, with a fuel pump that had a mouse in the fuel tank. I found the carcass, the skin, the skull, and a foot, all inside my fuel filter in the tank. So now she is running on the fuel pump from that. So it's a 5.2 pump with a 5.2 running the 5.2. But I just wanted again to give you guys a update of what's going on. And again, BDS coils, max speed sway bar, Bilstein's 5125 shocks, custom long arm built by me. Drive shaft in the rear is also built by me without actually leveling it or balancing it. And no, she does not vibe. Somehow, some way, over the last 15 years, I've come up with a process to build drive shafts in my garage and not have to balance them. Would I advise that to everybody? No. Do I do it? Yes. But that happens to be my way of doing things. I do, however, have a Adams shaft in the garage that, again, needs to be shortened because it came out of an XJ. And it will be going in here. Something else I want to show. You will notice I have a crack ton of space between the firewall. Being that I built the motor mounts myself, I did set my motor probably about 2 inches further forward than most. My mechanical fan is only about 3/4 of an inch off the radiator. I have not had an issue with it rubbing or hitting with the way I did the mounts. I will at some point in time probably switch over to an electric. But I did this specifically because of all the nightmares I've heard of working behind the motor. I've got plenty of room for activities back here. Oh yeah, and my S-Pod. Kind of cool because the S-Pod I bought many years back when I had a 16 Rubicon. And it's funny because that old Jeep was totaled, but the S-Pod lives on in here. And my antenna actually came off that old Rubicon. So my old 16 Rubicon kind of lives its life again a little bit in the current one. But yeah, paint, not perfect, but I'm very pleased with it. There is some imperfections specifically on this side, knowing that that panel is aftermarket. Middle of the rocker is the old LJ tub, and that panel right there underneath the cowl is actually off the red 98 TJ that this thing was built from. Am I worried about the ugly bodywork? No. Partially because the ultimate goal is Highline aluminum fenders from Genrite, full Genrite aluminum body armor from front to back, which is going to cover up all the ugly. The goal is, give you a little bit of a prequel, they've been sitting out here for a bit, so they are dirty, is I have Sterling 10.5 and an 04 Super Duty out of F350 Dana 60. And yes, I have ran the casting numbers. It is the 60, not the 50. Those, with a little luck, will get built, and in the spring, this old girl will get highlined and a set of 1-tons, and I will probably bump up to either a 38 or a 40-inch tire. Figure I'm going to run it the way it is for right now. It is full spooled in the rear. I am running 488 gears. I have a Spartan locker going in the front, but I'm going to run it the way it is for right now, being that my tires have another year or so on them before they're going to be due, and I'm going to try and time out getting new tires about the same time as I do the 1-ton swap. When I started this project, it was supposed to be this and done. It's a Jeep. No Jeep is ever fully complete. Granted, I'm 99% to where I've always wanted one to be. Highline, probably aftermarket full cage, Genrite tank tuck, and the 40s with the 1-tons. And I could honestly say this Jeep may actually be a Jeep that meets my criteria for being done. Also, Barnes rear bumper, however, that will never come off. It is welded to replace that rear cross member on the frame, so that is full intact. There is a reese hitch built in and attached up in there. Oh yeah, that's backup camera too. Not quite working, but it's part of the stereo. And the pins underneath. I don't expect to pull from it. It will eventually tow an adventure trailer, because the plan is I want to do some overlanding with this old girl, and there will be some work going on with storage boxes. But again, I just want to share where it's at, show you that yep, she runs, she lives, she doesn't overheat. I have yet to get it over 200 degrees, even pounding on her on some hills in low range. When she wakes up, she wakes up. I do know that, like I said, first gear is kind of weird. It's not that it slips, it just doesn't seem to come out of the hole like I expect it to. But I get up to about 2,500 RPM and I will break all 4 tires loose. So she does have a slightly steep power curve from what I'm used to. But again, this is what I spent all winter building. And just so you know, it's not as intimidating on the wiring front. I mean, yep, I've still got a couple little gremlins, but I had never built a wiring harness for a motor swap, and I did on this one. My motor swap, doing the wire harness, buying the donor vehicle, and the couple of miscellaneous parts, I did the 318 and the 4-speed automatic swap, and I would be hard pressed to say I spent much more than probably $2,200 to do the swap. Did I rebuild the motor? No. Could I? Yes. But at the end of the day, the motor had about 160 on it, didn't smoke, didn't leak. We did do valve covers and water pump and stuff like that, but I'm pretty pleased for $2,200 swap. I mean, at the end of the day, when I do the math out for what I've got into this Jeep, including purchase price, I think I'm only a total over the last 3.5 years of having it of between 18 and 20 grand, which for a Jeep, that's not bad. Yeah, it's titled 98 and it's a LJ body, but being the 98, the 96, 97, even the 98 ZJ was an easier swap. Note, if I was to do it again, I would use the Ram engine harness, not the ZJs. Doing the research that I've done, the couple of little hiccups that I have in my electrical could have all been avoided had I used a Ram engine harness. And to be perfectly honest, if I continue to struggle with correcting the couple little things, I will buy another TJ harness and a Ram harness and rebuild it, because it is running the Ram ECU. So you scan it, it identifies as a Dodge Ram with a 318. So, but yeah, if I was to do this swap again, which I very well might, the biggest thing that I learned from it is, one, use the Dodge Ram harness. The problem with the ZJ harness is it does have a body control module wired through it. So you're trying to reconnect and realign stuff that would have typically been body control module directly to the ECU. And from what I can tell, that is probably where I'm dealing with my speedo issue. Will I build another harness for it? I might. We're going to continue to try and solve what I've got. But yeah, my number one thing that I would advise to anybody wanting to do this swap, use the Ram harness on the motor. Number two, I like how I moved the motor forward to make it easier. I also eliminated a lot of the issues with steering. I don't have a clearance problem at all. Would I have mounted it as far forward as I did if I did it again? It's hard to say. I probably would come back about an inch, so I'd still be forward from most install kits, but I don't think I would go where, like, say the Novak, it's either Novak or Advanced Adapters, where their mounts are. I don't think I would actually put it where theirs do. I do think that I would give myself the space, because I can literally reach in there and not struggle and pull my crank positioning sensor, which anybody that's Jeep, Chrysler knows. 4 liters, 318, 360s. For some reason, they want to eat CPSs. Typically with the 4 liter, I'd carry a spare, because long trails, I'd probably end up replacing them. This, don't know, but I literally, in about 3 minutes, can be in there, pull it out, change it out, put the new one in. Stereo, I did go to a double DIN system. Still trying to figure out why my GIPS doesn't want to read right. And there's the S-Pod switch controller, which I have one USB in it. All the other switches work. Dome lights are on the S-Pod. But yeah, that is the old build. And I'll throw a before and after picture together for those that haven't seen what this thing was. She is a full color change. She was a white, black, and gray bed-lined camo print. Part of the reason I did that is the bed line was starting to flake off. What I discovered was in areas the tub wasn't properly prepped and there was no primer for it to bond to, so it was just starting to flake off. I kind of dig the orange. This is a farm implement paint. I used a brand called Magic that I picked up from Family Farm and Home. It is Ellison Charmer Orange. Now, what's interesting is I got to park next to, I believe it was a two-door LJ with what I think Jeep is calling their Crusher Orange. Might be wrong with that. I know it used to be called Crusher Orange. And they were so close. It literally looked like I just sprayed over a dark primer, the slight sheen difference. So, reasoning behind farm implement paint. It's durable, it's cheap, and if I have an issue with the paint, I scratch it, dent it, replace a panel, I can go to any farm store, buy that brand in a rattle can, and I can turn around and spray repair what needs to be done. So, being that this Jeep is not a show queen, she is not a trailer queen, It is a drive and use and play with. I went with what was repairable and easy. Is there some orange peel in some places? Yep. Is there some areas that she really turned out great? Yep. And you get up here close, and I really got to get in there for you to see the orange peel. There's a little bit here or there. Minimal runs. This paint did spray amazing. I did spray it with the Harbor Freight. I think it was the $30 gun. The primer was sprayed with the Harbor Freight $15 gun, but I've had that for a couple of years and it finally plugged up. I don't spray enough vehicles to justify a high-end gun. So if I get 2-3 sprays out of a gun, I'm happy with that with the Harbor Freight, because I probably go 2-3 years between paint jobs. So if I got to count into getting the paint gun, the primer, the paint, the cure, and everything, this was approximately a $250 paint job. For 250 bucks, I did everything, and for another 100 bucks, I Herculined the inside of the tub. You're not gonna go wrong. Especially on a Jeep that my function of it is, I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna drive it, I'm gonna play with it. And we are already starting to make plans for my August trip back out to Colorado. I do not know if this year I'm going to aim for the San Juans, or if this year's going to be a more relaxing adventure, and if I'm going to aim for the flat tops. But my goal is Colorado again at the end of the summer for 2 or more weeks. It will be me and Cashmere again, but I will be in a more capable rig. It's probably going to get worse gas mileage because I'm still trying to figure that one out, but it is what it is. However, I will be doing Colorado again, and here in the very near future, you will get to see me start on my overland trailer. Yes, I'm going to build a basic overland adventure trailer from scratch, probably narrow an older drop axle to give me some clearance, change out the spindles for the Jeep bolt pattern. And it's going to be set up for some storage, kitchen space, and then outrigger legs with my rooftop tent on top of it. Being as I'm not putting rooftop tent on this one. Will I build another overland rig such as the WJ that I've had in the past? Yes. Yes, I will. I have not decided if I want to build a pickup. Haven't decided if I want to build a custom, but we'll talk about that later. I think I may actually throw together just a chat talk video, but yeah, I wanted to give you a walk around on the old girl because she is alive and she's running. But anyways, sorry I rambled on. The plan was to make this a 10-minute video. It looks like you're gonna have about 25-30 minutes of video. But again, if you've got questions about how I did the lift, or why I did the lift the way I did, throw them down in the comments. Also, I don't usually say it, but like, subscribe, hit that bell. We're trying to get to the point that we're starting to drop more videos. Cashmere even wants you guys to like and subscribe too. But we want to get to more videos. We're at about 62 subscribers at the moment. Doesn't seem like much, but for a page that I'm reviving from the dead that's existed for 7 years, hey, I'm happy. Goal though is by the end of the year, we would like to get to 5,500 subscribers. Yep, I put a target on it. I want 5,500 subscribers by the end of the year. So, share, like, subscribe, and we will see you again later, and see you on the trail.